You know you're created for more. Now let's do something about it. Welcome to Project You, the space for you to embrace the I can, I will philosophy and finally start making progress towards your goals, your dreams, and your desires. Be kind, supportive, and remember every day that the blueprint for you is within. I'm Cami Craig. Today, let's work on Project You. Hey you guys, it's me, Cami Craig, here with you today on Project You. This is a podcast that we are really working through things. And when I say working through, it's the only way to get to the destination, right? Is through. And it is a journey every single day. It is a place of overcome. It is a place of sometimes worry. It is a place of roadblocks. It is a place of absolute bliss. When we know that these things are in our way, right, we work through them in order to gain the good momentum that we deserve in our life to become. And so I just want to thank you if this is a podcast that you are just jumping on, or if this is a podcast 94 later, I think we're on 94, then I just want to say welcome. Welcome to a position in your life that was on purpose. Welcome to a position in life where you have the chance to make the choice to be the change that you deserve to be. And may that be physically, may that be spiritually, may that be emotionally, mentally, and all the other things of this life that may be. This is your time to stand firm in what you believe in and go to bat, right? And we're standing up for what we believe in and going to bat because we do our work, right? We earn our position. And this episode today is exactly about that, earning your position. And I just so happen to be very passionate about what I do in my life. And as you guys know, or if you don't know, I'm a gym owner. I'm a personal trainer. I'm a nutrition consultist. I am not a woman that thinks that she knows it all. Instead, I've put my ego, which is my false self, over in the corner, and she comes and flirts with me quite often, but I know who she is now, and I know that I can laugh at her and find it very humorous, what the false self likes to tell me and what my false self likes to put up in script for me to truly believe and live and do. But I'm in a position where boundaries have been set, and it's up to me to practice with those new tools to become my better self. And so in Project You, I share stories and I share these opportunities and also experiences, hoping that you also are putting your experience, your opportunities, your worries, your bliss in this episode, right? To better see yourself and maybe better see someone else, so you are there to authentically help them. Again, in this episode, we are really talking about how to grow our business and also stay authentic. And one of the things out of the gate is that we have to know, and especially in this generation, that you have to earn it. No matter what, it is in life, we earn the championship, right? We earn the runner-up. We earn gaining knowledge. It's not something that is just installed. Like, we have to work from the moment that we come out of the womb. We are in working progress to discover, through infancy, through the toddler stage, through the teenage years, through adulthood. And I want to be in this place where I'm always learning and I'm always reaching out to find and to discover the authentic entrepreneur in me. And I've had 2 conversations the past couple days that I would like to share with you because it is so relevant to this time. And really, when I was thinking about it, walking away from both conversations, I was like, oh my gosh, this is a way to increase your brand. This is a way to increase your authenticity. This is a way to increase your values and the idea that you have in your life to become, whether that be in your career or physical or all these things. So again, if it's not just set on career right now, we can open the horizon and think beyond that a little bit, okay? But I'm going to go to my conversation that I had with my hair girl today. She's this young 21-year-old woman, and she is just starting to be a hairstylist. And she's at one of the most high class, I think, in Reno, the higher end salons, and very cutting edge. And these girls are not only beautiful, but they're entrepreneurs. They are always going to gain more knowledge and go to classes, and it's not just in Reno. Like they're traveling, and they're up against and up with peers and also teachers, so anyone that can do that and have their continuing education and all these positions in life is already greater. You're already realizing that this is one key ingredient to a successful place in your world. And success doesn't always need to be money. Okay, success can be many things for different people. So we're not going to really hone in on that. We're actually just saying that if I put myself out there to learn, to experience, to have more opportunity, then I am going to come back with a better way to brand myself, with a better way to advertise, with a better way to build relationships with customers or prospects. All these things happen because you are putting one foot in front of the other. And even though it's hard, you may be worried or concerned, even though it might be a big risk, and maybe you don't have the money. I promise you, if you keep moving forward on keeping it real, right? But keep moving forward, then you're bound to discover the success. So this cute girl that does my hair, she does my blowouts at local salon, and she's talking, we're talking, and then all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, you're here part-time, right? And she's like, yeah, 3 days a week, and then I was like, oh, that's cool. How late are you here today? And we're just small talking, and she's like, I'm here till 6 tonight. I was like, dang, that's a long day. And for me, I get done at 10 on Fridays, right? And I said, wow, that's a long day. And then she came back, yeah, it's not that bad. Tomorrow's gonna be longer. And I'm like, well, what time are you getting off tomorrow? And she's like, 8:30. I'm like, chick, that's such a long day. And I'm in the moment with her. I'm present. I'm not doing a lot of comparison or anything like that. I'm just with her. I'm putting myself in her shoes. I'm like, wow, it's a long day. And she's like, yeah, it is, but I'm only here for 3 days. And I used to only take a couple clients on my days that I was working. But then I made a big girl move, and I got a new car, which means that I have a payment now. And that payment is not only just an average payment, it's a greater payment than I'm used to. So she explained her mindset, and this is a 20-year-old woman, and she's like, I was just taking a couple clients, and I was also working part-time. And she also has to work another part-time job in order to have the complete finances that she needs to live. So, which is great. She has two, but she then made that purchase, which then put her in a position where she had to work harder. And she likes walking outside and walking to her car, her new car, and having that little pep in her step and knowing that she's upstairs working at the salon in order for her to drive this car. That's motivating for her. And if she found that motivation through that, and especially in her generation, in this time that a lot of people just want to be, the Instagram star, and they want to be Insta famous, and they want to be the YouTube, and they want to do all the things. And there's great success for some, right? But that's not overall where we're all going to end up. And so with this, and not saying that that's what she wants to do, but a lot of younger generational people, they just want a quick fix. And I hear it around me all the time. So that's where this statement is coming from. It's not coming from research. It's just coming from me actually having the ability to talk to a lot of people. And it's fascinating to me because here I am with a 21-year-old woman, and she's like, I found motivation through this purchase of the car. It was a big risk, but I did it, and now I'm more motivated. And she's like, so I'm working with a lot more clients in my day, and I'm capitalizing on the 3 days that I'm here. So before, you guys, before she was just going through the motion, she was taking a couple clients and she wanted to have a good time. And what 20-year-old doesn't want to have a good time? And as they should. But there's a lot of 21-year-olds, 25s, 30s that are passionate about what they do, and they're going to do a lot to increase their brand and their authenticity and how they're going to advertise and what they're going to do to build their relationships. How can they be consistent? Like, these are things that entrepreneurs think of, And so again, I was just with her and present, and then all of a sudden we get done and I just praised her and thanked her. My hair looked beautiful. And I was like walking to my truck, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, here I am on a Friday afternoon. I'm done with work today. And I told her, and she asked me, are you going back to the gym? And I said, no, this is when I get all mommed up, and I'm going to go do my podcast, and I'm going to go pick my sons up from school. We're going to go to soccer. We're going to do the things. And anyways, my thoughts were walking to that truck. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like done with work right now. And I'm going to go back to the house and I'm going to do this podcast, and then I'm going to go pick my sons up and we're going to go to soccer, and I don't have to go back to the gym, but then I realized the two different positions that we are in life. I will have been in the industry for 17 years. Oh my gosh, in a couple days. That's crazy. In a couple days. And I remember all the hustle and bustle. I remember working multiple jobs, in order to make ends meet. And then I realized I was working more jobs because I was also building relationships with people. I wanted to talk to everyone. I wanted to be in front of anyone, so I could help my business. No, I didn't meet everyone in the gym because not everyone walks into that gym, but it was really important to me at that time when I was Avery's age was to get out there. And I've talked about this before, all the fundraisers, all the events in town, any nonprofit organization, I was, talking to the coordinators and stuff because it was about truly engaging in conversation, right? And then not only that, it was being consistent to going to those events. It was being consistent to going to run the races. And it just so happens that your brand comes from you being passionate first about what you do. And so there's everything to say about you must love what you do. And it may seem super obvious, but so often do I see people that starting up a business and they do it for the wrong reasons. They're like, oh, this is where the money's at, but the money isn't there if your love isn't there. I wouldn't be 17 years deep into this business and now a gym owner and also a failed business through the pandemic and knowing what risk is, if I wasn't passionate about what I did. And also if there's light at the end of the tunnel, and you see it and you're motivated through your faith and beliefs, you're going to get there, so you just got to know, like, am I doing this from love? Do I really love doing hair? Do I really love customer service? Do I really love engaging with people? Do I really love picking up new tools? And if you don't, then that's something that you need to question yourself about. Answer those questions and acknowledge them, right? And see what other path is there for you. And if the path is, literally one lane over, then it's one lane over. And yes, is that a risk? But it's worth it because now you're loving what you do, and even being in the most toxic places, right? You still can love what you do, but you are in a toxic place. So if that's one lane over to help your heart soar and beam through light so you can do your job in love and passion, then that's worth taking, right? And so here I am just kind of going back. I listened to Avery is her name, and I was inspired by this little 21-year-old woman because she has it already going on. Yes, she's only working part-time. Yes, she's working another job, but her mindset is right. And was it right, before she'd got in the car it wasn't at par. It wasn't the best because she was being 20 years old and she was just, wanting some time off. and it's hard to come out of the nest, right? And to make that transition. It's one of the craziest transitions in life, going from the high school days to the college days or high school days to real life, but the thing is you got to start somewhere. So when people are asking me tips, like how do you ensure that I'm keeping it real and I'm going to work really, really hard to be authentic entrepreneur? And that's a crazy question. And that's a question that I got asked not too long ago in a phone Zoom interview. And all I could say as a number one was, you have to love what you do, right? And then the second part of that, just like Local Salon, I'm just going to take them for instance. There are young bucks in there. They're so passionate. They're so in love and hungry in their profession that they have done so naturally. The second most important thing when you are running a business, right, is to hire also authentic people. Now, are you going to hire the mindset that you have? Absolutely not. I mean, we're all so different. We're all so differently brought up, and we have different responses. And but in the end, that salon is a salon. So they're going to attract people who do hair. They're going to attract people who went to beauty school and they have that desire in their heart to become that, right? But when you put something out there, you attract that. I just told my boys the other day, whatever you put out will come back to you. So if that's a positive place, or if that's an artsy place, it's a creative place, if it's a financial place, it's going to bounce back at you, And so I feel that when we're ensuring on keeping it real as an authentic entrepreneur, we're really kicking into high gear about who we're surrounding ourselves with. And those people are your hype men. They are part of you. They're an extension of you, and it makes for the business and it makes for the experience and opportunity of running the gym and running the law firm and running the dental office, whatever it is that you're running. It makes it so much more fun. I look at this girl, and yes, she is with these beautiful humans along with herself and doing something so passionate, but she's learning in her own little zone within authentic people around her. And it's hard to fall short there when you're around motivated people, when you're around ambitious people, and really that becomes a very contagious place to be. And that's where I want to be. I want to be around people that elevate me and help me find my authenticity and pushing that key ingredient to be a better entrepreneur.
Brain health is no longer only for those who are suffering from major psychological disorders. For many, COVID-19 has amplified these issues. Maintaining and treating conditions such as anxiety, brain fog, and mood swings is as simple as a checkup with Brain Health Restoration. Mert Brain Therapy at Brain Health Restoration is the most current brain technology on the market. Mert Brain Therapy maps and treats your brain by using non-invasive magnetic resonance therapy that optimizes brain function. You'll see immediately from the Brain Health Restoration readings the condition of your brain today.
As you have these treatments, you start to see changes. The brain starts functioning in the way that it's supposed to. I'm not anxious anymore. I don't have depression. I sleep better. I have this sense of peace.
Take control of your brain health today. Visit brainhealthrestoration.com. Use the code CAMI to get 10% off your first treatment.
Because the entrepreneur in me is not going away. If every day it's getting more and more and more hot and the furnace is on, just like, I coach my metabolic system and their metabolic system to turn on. It's also fired up in me in a business standpoint. It's also fired up in me and to be, the best mother, and it's fired up into me to be the best girlfriend and friend. So when I am actually speaking about business and how do we grow our business and stay authentic, I can actually put myself on my personal life and be like, do you love what you do? Because that's going to help you be a kinder, passionate, loving, excited mom. Do you love what you do? Because you're going to come home and you're going to talk to your boyfriend and you're going to be falling in his arms and so happy because you love what you do. Are you going to go to church, and are you going to praise and worship and be in a happier state because you're loving what you do? And I say all these things because those are important pillars in my life. But I do know what it feels like to not be in a place where I'm happy, right? And then feeling kind of dumpy over there too. So some things got to shift. I remember when I was a bartender. Yes, I was a great bartender. Before that, I was a great waitress. And before that, I was a great person. Gosh, I don't even know. My mind is like totally blank right now. But when I worked in the fashion industry at Express, and I was the woman that literally took all your clothes and put it in your dressing room. Like I was good at that. Okay. I got to experience and to work on talking with people, and I got to work with crummy people, and I got to work with connections and customer service and how to deal with things, conflict resolution, management and time management and all of those things, and I wouldn't be where I'm at running the business if I hadn't gone through those things, but I didn't necessarily like it. So I didn't love bartending. So if I didn't love what I did, I remember literally I was trying, and I don't use this word often, but I was trying to find my way, which was part of the process to get me, full blown into fitness, and not just, putting my hand in there. I'd rather put my hand in places that I'm passionate at, opposed to, okay, I'm going to be a bartender over here, and then I'm going to be a fitness trainer. It served its purpose. I got to talk to people. I got to make connections that helped me, start my business. But if I would have kept my hands in all the other burners, right, that weren't fitness related, then I would have been pushing myself into frenzy and getting overly fatigued and then frustrated. And then all of a sudden I'm questioning everything and I'm not loving what I do, but really fitness was it. I just wasn't willing to jump in full force and full throttle to the obvious thing that I loved. And thank God I did. And thank God you are doing that. And if you're not there, just jump in, right? Do what you got to do. Like Avery, if she's got to work 2 jobs right now, she's doing a great job on increasing her brand authenticity, because guess what? She gets to go to that second job and her hair's done. It's super cute. It's cut just right. It's colored just right. And then all of a sudden a woman walks in and she's like, oh my gosh, where do you get your hair done? She's like, I am a hairstylist at local salon, and I could take you because I'm taking new clients right now, right? Or here's my number. Give me a call, give me a text message, whatever. But it's that right there, just engaging with other people, and she's doing her job. And also she's putting food on the table and she's being able to pay the bills. And is this going to be forever? No, she wants to be there full time. In time, but you have to earn your spot. You have to earn it. So then it turns into the second story that I wanted to share, which was with my eyelash woman, okay, my eyelash girl. And we sometimes don't say anything at all because I'm so tired I'd like fall asleep for 20 minutes, and sometimes we talk the whole time. And this time we talked and we had this amazing conversation about business, and she goes, hey, I am not taking any more clients. And I was like, you're not? And she's like, no, I need to focus on the clientele that I have right now. And then I told her right before that, I'm like, I'm so proud of you. That was a really cute picture on Instagram. She basically introduced herself as the eyelash girl and also a hair girl, because she does both. And she's surrounded by one of her best friends in her little salon area. She has like one little room. So she's chosen it. She might not be hiring, right? Authentic people, but she's around authentic, strong people that push her, that relate to her, help her, all the things. So she was like, oh, anyways, I was just acknowledging that. And I acknowledge that because I know that Kelsey is pushing her business and she's branding her business. I can see it. And I want to let her know from an outside perspective, I see her consistency. I see that she's branding and she's messaging and she's putting up her stories, and she clearly is building relationships with her customers and maybe prospects. She has some of the key factors that is helping her increase her business, but also staying authentic because she's being her. She's not being Beyonce. She's not being a hairstylist in LA that is, super cutting edge and that has black hair and a white stripe down the middle. Like, she's being Kelsey, which makes her authentic to her personality, her demeanor, and her desires of her heart. I see that. And I see that she's being honest and she's also being transparent. And when I say this, even as a client, I'm jumping off track a little bit, but I even said to Kelsey, I'm like, hey, are you excited to go to concerts? And Tanya on the other side, her best friend, she laughed and she's like, concerts, Kelsey? And I was like, wait, does she not like concerts? And she's like, no, she just doesn't like large crowds of people. So she'll never go to concerts. And as I'm laying there, I'm talking to her on a business standpoint and I'm talking to her on a personal standpoint. And I'm getting to know her through her authentic people that she's surrounded by. And then I'm like, oh, Kelsey, you don't like large crowds? And she's like, no, I stay home and that's what I do. But here she is, quite so an introvert, right? But she believes in her job and what she does so much that she's willing to take the risk and step outside of her comfort zone because she loves doing hair and she loves doing eyelashes. And fortunately, you have to engage with people. You have to be open with people and talk to people and acknowledge people. And if you don't have that personality and you also don't have that love for what you're doing, then you don't need to worry about it, right? But for someone like Kelsey and anyone else that is striving to grow their business and stay authentic, they have to be honest and transparent. Kelsey then, obviously told me, I'm not taking any more clients. And I said, Kels, why? And she goes, I have to focus on the clients that I do have. And it seemed like she was losing a few clients, that her books were too solid. They were kind of frustrated, because one client said, gosh, it's easier to get an appointment with my doctor than it is you. And yeah, that might have not hurt Kelsey, but what is happening is that she's acknowledging her weakness. And her weakness is right now overbooking or taking on too many clients. So she's in a position where she can't even get her old clients in that have been with her for years upon years. And so she had to really ground herself at this point and say, you know what? I'm not willing to take any more clients because I'm not willing to destroy my authenticity that I've built up. So Kelsey is in a position where she's a hairstylist, she's an eyelash professional, and she's earned her position. She's worked at different salons, she's worked with different people, she's had probably hundreds of clients, and she's at a position where she is in this cute place that isn't the hustle and bustle. It isn't the huge Reno, Nevada cutting edge salon. It is actually more of Kelsey's personality, and it's off the beaten path a little bit over there. It's in a different spot, and it's in the back room with one room, right, that her and her girlfriend are in, so they can be authentic within themselves instead of this huge business, and they're all going to these functions and continuing education. Now they're doing these things, but they're scaled down a little bit. And that's because she loves what she does. She loves who she is. And she's being authentic to herself and being honest with herself. She has values and she's staying true to those values, right? And she knows that if she's building relationships with her customers, that she has to be a woman of her word. So instead of just becoming the best, which she is right now, she's sought after. She has to know that, okay, I've been true to myself this whole time. I don't work at a hustle and bustle salon. I'm in this beautiful, cute quaint place. Like, let's keep it that way. Let's not overdraw here. So she got in a pickle. She had some roadblocks. She had some situation that's in her little chapter that she's in right now that presented itself to be aware, that she might not be that authentic with her customer connections or patient or client connections, that she had to slow her own self down. And I thought it was absolutely beautiful that she was able to, number one, be honest and transparent like that, and also find a conclusion. So she was in a conflict and she's ready to resolve. And so we talked about it because we talk about business often. And I was like, you know what, Kelsey, this is amazing. It makes me feel really good that you want to hold on to me as your client, because you know what? I go there once a week and I have half-hour sessions with her. And and I book before I leave because I know she's busy. But there's other people that cannot book before they leave. They have to call her, right? And they have to get in with her. But she's becoming so busy and she's taking everyone that's calling her that she can't get her old clients in. Way to go, Kelsey, for even seeing that. So you want to grow your business by actually, you've earned your spot, but you want to grow your business by staying authentic to the people that have gotten you there. And then all of a sudden, I have this like epiphany right then and there. And I shared with her my 5 a.m. class. My 5 a.m. class was becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. And it felt good, but it didn't feel right. Okay. It felt good, but it didn't feel right. And when I say that, I adore and admire my 5 a.m. because it starts the tone of my day. It is the tone starter of my day. Let me just say it that way. And these women have been with me literally for years, you guys, and they have put up with everything that I've put out there, everything, and whether I was fighting with my ex-husband and I was sad and I was crying and I was, walking in and they couldn't even tell, but they could feel my energy, like that kind of personal stuff they've dealt with and they didn't even know, but they knew, but then they would deal with the roof leaks. They would deal with water on the floor. They would deal with it being a little too cold in the morning. Like 5 a.m. is a very, very hard and also amazing time, right? And when you walk in, you got to be on. So here I am. I have these Project C programs that you guys know about. And when they start, I open up my 5 a.m. And so I've noticed in the past that my authentic group that starts my day and I start their day, they start my day was getting messed with a little bit. And then all of a sudden there's 10 more people at that hour. And then they're losing their authentic connection with me that we built on over these years. We love what we do. And it's so obvious that we love that because we keep coming back, right? But I learned over the last Project C, which was a year ago because of the pandemic, that was one of my weaknesses. I was taking on, these clients at my 5 a.m. and I really shouldn't have been because I really cannot handle any more people at that 5 a.m. So lo and behold, I sent a text message out to all my 5 a.m.ers and I said, 5 a.m. is closed. You guys are it. And I'm not allowing my 5 a.m. to be open when the next Project C starts, which is July 19th. And the feedback that I got, I did it in a group text message, and then I got a lot of personal messages back, and it was out of love, and it was so appreciated. They felt that they were on top of a priority list, which they are and have been, but I haven't been the best by showing them because I would just let everyone be part of the 5 a.m. And really, that was helping our disconnect. And then it becomes like, a nuisance and maybe a little irritation. And I just would rather not have that if it doesn't have to be there, right? And that's what and how the brand or the authenticity stays strong, because I'm willing to be honest with myself and transparent. And I had to have a boundary, knowing that that was something that I felt a while ago and I'm going to voice it now. So here this happens. Then Kelsey tells me this and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a sign that you're doing the right thing. You love what you do so much that you are willing to hold boundaries even in your professional life. And it felt so good. And especially after talking with Kelsey, I'm like, this is a key ingredient to growing my business, which is by staying true to the people that have been there, and staying true to the authentic self, which is inside of me, and the connection that I have with these women and men in the morning. So I looked at Kelsey. Well, my eyes were closed, but I was looking at her in closed eye form while laying there with my eyelashes being done by her. And I told her that I'm so proud of her, and not that meant maybe anything, but I really did feel her as an entrepreneur and someone that is built and putting up boundaries. Because she then said, I have to be able to change my schedule up because Liam's going to school next year and he's starting soccer. And I'm like, you know what, Kels, before any more time goes on, just make sure that you are doing this for you right now, because you are growing a family. You are going to be needed and wanted and desired by your little boy. And if anyone has a family and anyone knows what that feels like, they'll gladly say, okay, your day can be done at 3 p.m. Right? And I only know this because I was so scared to put that boundary and put that wall up because I was a people pleaser. And in the service industry, you have to be that way. But I think that's also false. I do believe that we are there for people, but I do also believe that when you have earned and you're earning your spot, you can still manage yourself through time management and also the desires of your heart to be there for your family without feeling guilty, which is a part of my brand. At the gym, everyone knows how much I love my boys. Everyone knows how much I love life. And even my dogs, like I ran out the other day and I'm like, oh my gosh, Clayton over, I have to be picked up. And, the groomer called and she's like, we close at 5, which is like literally in 7 minutes. I'm like, I have to go. And everyone, I had an authentic person on the other side, which was Dan. Okay. He realized that I was in a bind. I talked to everyone about it and I made the decision to connect and go do what I need to do, right? The right thing to do, which is go get my dogs so they don't stay overnight at a place they don't know. And pay the woman and leave like a normal human being, right? And everyone was like, Cami, of course. And because I engaged, because of the honesty and the transparency, those places that I get into are genuine. And they make me so happy. And those little things and situations that I get into always rejuvenate my soul every single time. They help my soul get this little more of a spark. And this little jolt becomes a key ingredient in being a growing business and in a position to staying authentic to what I love, okay? Only because I was willing to be honest, right? And transparent. And again, I told Kelsey, and I'm like, the more that you're telling me here is the more reason why I admire and adore you, because you're just being real, right? And you're also letting me know you're allowing me to be on the same page with you, and I get to choose if I want to stay with you and if that works for me. If your times are open, and the times that mine are open, then it works. And if it doesn't, then like Kelsey and I were talking about, there's someone else for you. And I just absolutely loved that, because it's not about disparity. It's not about, oh my gosh, and fretting and worrying and concerning about this. It's about, no, I'm doing an excellent job on juggling all this stuff that I juggle, and, mom and girlfriend and sister and friend, all these things. And then I'm literally immersed in something that I love so much, which is the business, right? And not only is it a business, it's a community. It's a safe haven for so many people. And I realize that this is everything. This world that we live in is everything. And it's so much fun because we love what we do. So to Kelsey and to the Avery, they're in such different positions in their career, just like the three of us are in such different positions and chapters in our career. And just like you listening, whether you're a homemaker, to a secretary, to a fitness professional, to a personal shopper, to a jeweler, whatever it is that you do, just know without a shadow of a doubt that you're going to be successful if you can keep it real with yourself and answer the question, do I love what I do? Am I around people that are authentic? Can I acknowledge my weaknesses? Am I talking? Am I communicating to people? Am I making great customer connections, patient connections? Am I realizing that I am allowed to keep my authenticity because I am being honest and transparent? And in the times of roadblocks and hiccups and the ebbs and flows, that I'm also willing to find conflict resolution? Do I know that I'm being consistent? And if I'm not being consistent, like Avery said, if I'm not going to put myself out there and work, then I'm not going to be able to pay my bills. I'm not going to be a part of this society that thinks that they can just take unemployment every single day and not work at all. Like, I want to be a hustler. I want to create values and stay true to those values because it's important to me. And then that's when the key factors come in of what your brand looks like. Then you can start to see that, and you can start advertising more and marketing more and maybe hiring those people. But you got to do the first steps first. So I just want to thank you so much for engaging with me because you engage with me and because I engage with other people, we're allowing ourselves to answer questions that need to be answered, and they need to be thought about, and they need to be acted upon. They have to be in order to be what you are deserved and destined to be. So again, this is a podcast about finding the authentic self in your business position. And those are just two little stories that I treasured because I wanted to become the better self. I wanted to become the authentic self. So let's challenge ourselves today to become our best self in a business arena. Until next time, you guys. Mwah. My obedience determines my outcome. My discipline determines my destiny. My faith determines my focus.